Vice reported on a story on Friday on their HBO show, and this may be the most important story of our lifetimes. I know that sounds like an overstatement, but you're about to see in a second how that's not the case. Researchers apparently have cancer on the ropes, to say the least. Check this out.
I had it disseminated, but I also had a tumor the size of a golf ball right here on my forehead. My daughter Eleanor and my son Oliver named him Evan.
This is Evan.
So it was a huge tumor the size of a golf ball, looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Massive.
And you can see it's not only a big protrusion, but it's also destroyed the bone.
It's sort of eaten away.
After just a single injection of the measles virus, Stacy had a profound reaction.
What happened is the most incredible headache. I can't even put to words. It felt like my head was going to blow off. And then it was a couple hours later that I was shaking and trembling, and I was in full-blown rigor and temperature of 105. I think it was just the measles storming the door, and it was just intense is kind of what I think it was. 36 hours after the measles infusion, Evan disappeared. Just kind of ate him up, killed him off.
That's before therapy. This is 7 weeks post-therapy.
Wow.
And what you can see is the brain contour has come back to normal, the skin contour has come back to normal, and all of the tumors went the same way.
Amazing. Amazing. I don't even know what I could add to that. You should check out the entire thing. Vice wasn't originally planning on putting it online, but Shane Smith said the other day, I think in a tweet, that they got such an amazing response to the original airing on HBO that they ended up putting the entire thing online. So definitely check out the whole thing, because it's just as amazing, if not more amazing, than you think it's going to be. If you think that little clip that you saw right there, like, oh, you know, it's hyping it too much and it's not all true and it's more nuanced, not really. So let me tell you everything here. So they used measles and lab-created HIV, and they injected them into people, and it just absolutely destroyed their tumors. And it happened, they go through multiple cases in the show, and overall, according to the trials thus far, granted the trials are limited, but thus far, it's a 90% success rate. And as Shane Smith says in the show himself, he's like, we think we cured it. Like, we're not just having a conversation about a better treatment. No, we're talking about a cure. 90% success rate and a cure. Amazing. And they also say that the only hedge that they have in there is that there's apparently various different kinds of cancer, and they're not sure which specific cancers it works on or if it's limited. But as of right now, all the evidence that's come in based on this treatment is exactly in line with what you saw right there. You have these people who, they go through a brief period for a couple days where they're in excruciating pain, but they're in excruciating pain because the measles virus and the lab-created HIV goes directly to the tumor and starts fucking it up. Now, I didn't notice, one of my friends brought up a good question, like, well, wait, doesn't that just mean that they end up having the measles or they end up having HIV after they do it? I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I think this is very similar to what they do with, like they mentioned in the show, with vaccines. How some vaccines, they put the live virus in you and you don't get it, right? It's a similar thing here with what they're doing with this. So, I mean, you and I may very well be looking at a situation right now where in our lifetimes, cancer is cured. I don't know if I ever even thought I'd see that day, man. I don't know. But what does this tell us? It tells us one of the same things, one of the same points I bring up time and time again on the show. Everything that religion wishes it could do, science actually does. Where do people turn when the shit really hits the fan and they're fucked and it seems like their time is limited on this earth? You know, they turn to religion and, oh, this gives me metaphysical comfort, and they turn to it and they think, you know, maybe if I pray, I'll get through this and I can defeat whatever ailment I have. You should put your faith, and that's not even the right word, but you should put your belief where it's merited. And the guys with the white lab coats who are in the lab all day long doing actual science, looking at empirical data, piecing together different things, forming smart hypotheses, testing the hypotheses, seeing if they become theories, putting in the hard work, doing the research, figuring out whether or not their ideas are true in terms of does this help or does this not help. Science is not this dogmatic thing. It's a process. Science is the process by which you ascertain the nature of reality. That's all it is. It's a process, and it's a process that's tested, and it's a process that's correct. And here we have a situation where it's a triumph of science. Somebody came up with the idea. It worked in theory, right? Hey, if we have the measles attack directly the tumor, it'll work because the reason X, Y, and Z, people much smarter than me. And then they put it into practice. They tried it. It worked on animals, and it worked on humans. Brilliant. It's genius. The same way that the idea of a vaccine is genius. The same way, I mean, these are the things that change the direction of human history that, you have like silent heroes that are at work behind the scenes. People who don't get the notoriety of other people. A lot of people know Jesus, right? But can as many people name you the person who created the polio vaccine, Jonas Salk? No. In fact, I don't even know if I just got his name right. I know it's Salk. I don't know if that's his first name. That shows you right there. It's a bias of our culture in directions that make no sense. Everybody can tell you who Taylor Swift is, and everybody can tell you who Jay-Z is. No disrespect to those people. You guys are great. Love you. But people can tell you that person, but they can't tell you the person who figured out how to make drought-resistant crops for certain crops. They can't tell you. But these are the people who really are saving the world and making it so that you and I can have a better quality of life. And we don't discuss them nearly enough, and we should. And this is an example right here. This is the biggest story that I could imagine ever hearing about. And instead of the mainstream media picking it up and running with it, what are they doing? We just showed you on CNN. Don Lemon had a llama on CNN Live. Because, that's more important than this whole curing cancer thing.